Hello, everybody. We have today's Women in Business that I am actually broadcasting from an exercise ball, so we'll be bouncing through the presentation today. And we are with Marla, and we have a guest speaker, Amy Goodman. So Marla and Amy Goodman, both spectacular businesswomen, are here, and today we're going to talk a little bit about the market and market research. So Marla, do you want to start, or do you want me to start today?
You start today.
Okay. So one of the things about market research that is the most important is, will the market pay for your product or for your service? Unless you have the kind of capital and are willing to invest the time in the marketing, the branding, something like Apple does, where they can have enough brand loyalty and they have enough marketing and enough opportunities for the market to interact with their tools. Unless you're like that, you need to know if the market is actually going to pay money for what you do. An example of this is I had somebody who wanted to add this extra service to their store, and they were going to pre-shop for people. And so that the people could just show up and then they'd be handed a bag and it would have been, everything that they picked out. And they decided they were going to charge, I think it was like a $25 surcharge, something like that. And they failed to do the research about the market and if the market would pay for it. And what they missed was that there was the same service they were providing could be done for free at one of the large box grocery stores. So there would be no reason, unless they could set up the branding to be different enough, there'd be no reason for the market to pay for them to do a service they could get for free. Another example of doing this kind of market research is, let's say there's something you're passionate about. Maybe it's bringing dance to children. Who's going to pay for bringing dance to children? That might be a brilliant, brilliant thing, and the market might really, really need it. But will people pay for it? Parents already pay a whole bunch of fees to get their children involved in activities. Are they going to want to pay for this dance idea? So do the thinking about whether or not just does the market want it, but is it feasible? Will they pay for it? So that's my bit on market research today. Marla, what about you?
Those are really great. It's interesting. I had a potential client the other day. It's an investor, someone who's come up with the idea, and then kind of someone who straddles between. And they think they have an idea. They've walked in the grocery stores, but to your point, I don't think they put pen to paper to figure out, what do I have that's uniquely different, and how would I price it and position myself? Because it's a food product, so if you go into the grocery store, their product is very unique. If you walk into a small local natural food store, it's one of several.
Right.
So figuring out what you have, how it compares to the competition, really is an important point. So my point today is about who you're going to target. So in your example, you're going to help people who are passionate about dance, or people who just want the convenience, or whatever it is. So knowing those people, and people who are coming to the grocery store who want things a little easier, you need to be able to find them to ask their opinions about how's it going or what they think. You have to be pretty specific about who are these folks, and it might be the kind of detail that kind of hurts your brain. Are they people who prefer natural foods? Are they people who drive certain cars, dress a certain way, don't work in certain kind of jobs? And I can't overstate the importance of choosing and identifying and being really clear on who you're targeting at the beginning. It doesn't mean it can't change along the way, but do your homework, because otherwise you're building products to the wrong audience. So that's really my point for today. I just found over and over again, if you're going to make an error early on from a people standpoint, that's really one that is common.
Great. How would you, can I ask you a question about that? Oh, must have frozen. Okay. Can you hear me? Okay, there we go. How would you go about finding, if you were a small business testing that market, how would you go about finding that information? I mean, is that where we need to hire somebody like you who can do market research, or is it possible for a small business to do that on their own?
You could do either. So if you want to do it on your own, you can get on and start Googling information about the topic. So let's make it up that we're going to talk about socks. You know, I have a new kind of sock, and it's an automatic warmer. I say I want it to be at 78 degrees, and it's always going to be at 78 degrees. And if you think you know who wants the product, like I already have an idea, then you can probably do some legwork on your own. If you don't, things on your own. And I like to toss out SurveyMonkey as a good bad example. Any question you like, and the quality of it is only as good as the way you ask the question and the people you've chosen to answer. So first of all, it goes back to who you're asking. But if you have a general idea, you know, hey, are people interested in, you know, socks that keep you at a certain temperature? You can pay $1,000, if you will, and get the answer to that 20 different ways. So it could be that you go to SurveyMonkey and do it yourself. SurveyMonkey is really great if you want inexpensive, simple questions. If you really have anything that has any kind of detailed branching, it will fail you. So if you want to ask the general population a question, go to SurveyMonkey. It's free. Do it. You can do it on your own. Other sources of information to get at that might be industry reports. So I can buy industry reports, you can buy industry reports, snippets of industry reports are released and you can Google the information. So I would see what kind of secondary information is out there in the ethos that you can gain on, you know, what percent of people are, you know, why would people use it? Because I'm cold, because I'm hot, because I'm something. So think about why people would use your product and see what you can find out about those kinds of people. And you can always formulate a hypothesis that says, I think that the people who are going to be interested in my product are this. And then you can go to a SurveyMonkey or a researcher and ask it. So if you want to go to, if you have a little bit more money to spend and you want to go to a more full service research from a larger one, just kind of talk with them and they will formulate everything. If you want to go to someone smaller, independent like me, that's fine too. You come and have the same conversation, and typically speaking, it's less expensive, quicker. And at the beginning of your business, you don't really need those larger firms. They're not adding a ton of value unless you have a lot of money to spend. And it's well spent, don't get me wrong. But they're just a person and an idea in a room kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's brilliant. It's perfect. Thank you so much, Marla. That is very useful, because that's, I think, for a lot of businesses, that's the question is they know that they need to do market research, but they don't know exactly what that means. You know, what are they testing for? What do they need to know? And then they don't know about how to go about doing it. So I think we gave people lots of good tools today.
And you can always call any researcher, and you know, it could be they do it for free, and it could be for $200. They're going to give you some ideas. The conversation's well worth it if you find yourself stumped.
Great. Brilliant. All right. Excellent. That's it for today then. Those are our tips, and Women in Business. We'll be back with more good stuff you need to know.